The Hollyoaks actor and reality TV star Paul Danan died from a cocktail of drugs but did not plan to end his life. That was the conclusion of a coroner today. An inquest was held after the 46-year-old was found unresponsive at his Bristol home in January. Barnaby Papadopoulos was in court, and Barnaby, this was ruled to be death by misadventure.
Yeah, that's right, Lucrezia. The coroner today read out statements from police, paramedics and Paul Danan's family, ultimately ruling that he died after taking multiple drugs, including heroin, cocaine and prescription medication too. As you said, the death was ruled as misadventure, which essentially means it was an accident. Paul Danan was found unresponsive at his home in Bristol in January. His partner had to identify his body after not seeing him for 2 days. A ladder had to be used to access the flat, where the actor was found on his sofa, slumped over, with the television still on. A coroner said there was no evidence Paul Danan had intended to end his own life, and added that he was clearly loved and would be missed by many. There were no family members at this inquest today, but a statement was read out by Paul Danan's family. It went, "Paul helped so many people from all walks of life, but just couldn't help himself in the same way. His smiling face and love of life will always be remembered." Well, Paul Danan was 46 when he died, but he shot to fame in the late 1990s after being cast in Hollyoaks. Stints on Celebrity Love Island and Celebrity Big Brother followed that, but long-term acting success eluded him. Ultimately, he struggled with addiction for many years. In 2022, he said he'd spent around £1 million on therapy, but ultimately that coroner today ruling his death as an accident caused by that huge overdose.
Now, the singer Beverley Knight is widely regarded as one of Britain's greatest soul musicians. She's set to tread the boards once again in her hometown as pioneering gospel singer Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
Yeah, Sister Rosetta is credited with influencing early rock and roll, and it's hoped the musical will bring her story to new audiences, as James Boville now explains.
Didn't it rain, children?
Sister Rosetta was a complete icon of gospel music. She kind of gave gospel a swing to it, which made way for modern gospel. But just as importantly, more importantly, she, as far as I'm concerned, was one of the architects of what we now called rock and roll. Because of her electric guitar playing. She was just way ahead of the curve. I understand the background that Sister Rosetta had, because it was so similar to my own. A charismatic Pentecostal upbringing where music was not only the focus, but it was the leading thing that you would do to kind of extol worship to God. And that was my life, day in, week in and week out. That was all I knew, just like Sister Rosetta.
I really do believe, I really do believe.
God don't want the devil to have all the good music. Right?
I really hope that people who come from a similar background to me come through the doors, because this is a story about being a woman, being a black woman, being a woman of joy and being a woman of faith. So there is so much for so many people.
And it must be really special performing in your home city. I think it's been 40 years since you performed here at the Wolverhampton Grand as well.
It's so magical to be on the stage here, the place where... This was the first theatre I ever knew. Wolverhampton Grand Theatre. As a child, we performed here with school, you know, we did those wonderful school assemblies where lots of schools would get together and you'd all sing. I mean, I was a part of that. And now, 40 years later, I'm back on this stage playing the role and celebrating the life of a woman who, decades before my parents even came to Britain, stood on the stage and, you know, celebrated blues and gospel with the great and good of Wolverhampton. It's such synergy. It's such a full circle moment. I'm so excited for this week and my heart is so full.
What What a skill. What
That's
a voice.
the energy we're taking into Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't help but smile when you watch that this morning.
Marie and Rosetta is on at the Wolverhampton Grand Theatre until Saturday.